I just wanna be with you. I just wanna be with you. Yeah. I just wanna be with you. Yeah, I just wanna be.
We finished exploring Vienna. Well, you know, it's a really big city. We haven't finished, but like, you know, we've done what we've wanted to. And we're just about to set out. And of course, we've had beautiful weather all morning and now it's starting to rain. Damn. But it makes a change, so it'll be good. We're on our way out of Vienna, on the island, in a beautiful bike path, car free. It doesn't get much better than this. Since we left Vienna, actually since we left where we had lunch, we have effectively been on a bike path the whole way, and at a score out of 10, I would give it like a 9 out of 10. And the signage is really great as well. So you can see that this is really a well-used bike path, and we're going past a lot of bike tourists as well. They said it was okay.
Did they?
Yeah.
Are we going to get stuck?
Well, I don't know, there's another bike rider.
Says the road is closed, but everyone seems to be riding through, so we're going to give it a go.
We're crossing the Danube across a weir that produces hydroelectric power and also somewhat controls the river. It's a bit difficult to find the entrance to get into it, and there's like a red light and everything, but you can definitely just ride through. And it's really cool, so it's really quite a massive structure set inside the river, and then there's an island on the other side where the ships or the barges go through the other way. And you know, like, it's a dedicated road for you, for the bicycle. So just another way that fantastic infrastructure is provided for the touring bicyclists. At the end of the day, there wasn't much open, so we stopped at the grocery store, picked up some fresh fruit and vegetables, and then we went to the hotel. Hotel was just back from the river and was above a pub, and it was really nice and very German in its thing. It had a little kitchen, so we could cook up our stuff that was available for the guests, and it felt more like a family home than a hotel.
Breakfast was included and was served down here.
We just finished the first day on the Eurovelo 6, coming from Vienna to Passau. And my first impressions of the day was it was awesome. It was a very short day. We only did about 30 kilometers. That was mainly because we spent time looking around Vienna and exploring Vienna before we left, because Vienna is a very beautiful city. There's lots to see, there's lots to do. So for the first 30 kilometers, it's dead flat, it's quiet, it's all on bike path, and there's no on road at all. There's no interaction with cars, and it's very fast. And we had a bit of a tailwind yesterday, and it rained for a tiny bit at the beginning. And other than that, it was perfect, very idyllic, riding alongside the water. And the biggest difference is almost every 50 meters, you're running into other cycle tourists. Now, we're not cycling in the peak season, so we're on the elbow season. And already you can see the massive difference with cycle. We had like 3 conversations with really nice cycle touring groups of husband and wife. So one from America, one from England, and one from Canada. And that was just in the first day, and really we didn't try for those conversations, they just happened organically. So it's been a great first day on the Eurovelo 6 from Vienna to Passau. It's the morning of the second day, and we're just setting out from our accommodation back onto the Eurovelo 6, and we're on our way about 80 kilometers today. It's definitely a lot more overcast, very humid, and the wind has reversed, so now we're riding into the wind. So the day we did 30, wind behind us. The day we're doing 80, wind in front of us. It's just typical. This gives you a good impression of the signage that you'll see along the way. So it's very good signage. It gives you distances to next stops. It also tells you stuff that's on the outskirts of, you know, where you can turn off and go and look at different places as well. It's impossible to get lost. It's impossible. Even PJ's struggling to get lost. She does stress. I tell you, she had a meltdown yesterday, but I say, you can't get lost. It's impossible. And the path is fantastic. Now the path runs on both sides of the river here, so you get a choice in which side you want to be on. I rode on the other side last time I did this, and it was perfect, so we're going to try this side, and knowing my luck, it'll be terrible.
We're on the south side.
We're on the south side at the moment, so the north side is definitely great. It's definitely wonderful, but just for a bit of difference, we're going to do the south side because I've done the north side before. And if it's terrible, we'll tell you at the end of the day. So a bit of excitement, and we think we're going to get rained on. So the Kraken is probably going to, you know, down bat and, you know, call a rain delay. But more than likely we're going to get rained on. But we're going to have to keep moving because it's 80 kilometers into a headwind.
So we've come about 15 k's, something like that, and we've got a decision to make about going to the northern side of the river or continuing on the southern path. The southern path continues along but goes inland near Canal, and then rejoins the river again because there's a commercial wharf. So there's an opportunity to see some little villages just back from the water, and I'm quite keen on that. So we're just doing some route planning at the moment, and then we'll tell you what happens. Oh, and the headwind is about 25 kilometers an hour, so it's a bit punishing today, but the rain has held, so we're still dry. Watch this space.
Warning, get ready to accept.
Lunch in the cubby house, but Mr. Pooh Bum here wants to be all grown up and eat at the table.
Yeah, because I'm not an animal. I don't like.
So leave a comment if you think having a picnic in a cubby house would be much more fun.
In the rain?
No, out of the rain. It's sheltered. But it is raining right now.
It's all about attitude. Today we've got a massive headwind, like 25, 30 knot headwind. It's pissing down raining, it's cold, but we're embracing it. We're embracing the suffer. We're just pushing forward. It's great. We actually say, bring on more. Now, PJ may not be saying this, but I am, you know, and I'm trying to inspire PJ, you know, by having a positive attitude. you can do anything with a positive attitude, I say. And, you know, to all my brothers that are, you know, in submarines underneath the water right now, they'd love to swap places with me, you know. So anyway, I think it's an awesome day. Look at that, I've got the moves. Well, PJ's got the moves too. But we're in very good humour. This is how you should start a day. Full of energy and ready to go. So at this point I rode off and left PJ. You know, I thought it was a good idea. Now I ran into this other cyclist on the side of the road, and his name was Andrew, and he's from England, and he's riding a 60-pound bike that he's ridden quite a long way, and he was a really interesting fellow. And we ran into him for the next 3 days, and he was a really interesting chap.
Interesting thermals, hey Charlie.
Oh yeah, like bloody English, like they're fools. You know, we're freezing to death, and he's there in shorts and a t-shirt. He's saying it's a little bit cold. We just crushed that. I mean, like, it was against the wind. The rain was coming down. But, you know, I wanted to give up, but PJ was like, no, let's keep going. And I begged her to stop for a coffee, you know, and so she's doing it under duress because she just wants to keep going to the next place, another 30 Ks, into the teeth of the wind. You know, she's just like a champion. She's like...
If you believe that, you'll believe anything. I'm very glad we're stopping for a coffee. It's been a long day, and we're not even at our destination yet.
I'm going off to explore the town. PJ's in that coffee shop, and there's no way I'm getting her out of there. We've still got like 26 kilometers to go. PJ says 30, but she's like firmly ensconced. So she's on a second coffee now. And this is the main street of the town. It's very pretty. And I just walked past some places that were made in 1502. So that's amazing.
Something about you feels so different. Yeah, you mess me up inside. It's like your energy was kissing my soul back to life, was living. Now it feels like every part of me is dying. Yeah, you're gone without a trace. You left me where no one can find me. There's no sign of life out here. I scream and it goes silent. I fight so hard, but I can't find my way out. Lost all dimension and time. All alone, hear your voice in my mind. And this goes down. And this goes every message that I send you, you just leave them all on
The last part of this ride, the last 26 kilometers, went through a series of towns and sort of moved away from the river a bit. And the towns were absolutely beautiful. I lost PJ during this. She dropped behind me, and I thought it was more safe for me if I stayed out in front of her. And I went ahead and checked in at the hotel so she wouldn't have to do it when she arrived, because she kind of had a sense of uniphagia, which we'll talk about later. It's worth noting that the Vienna to Passau is the most popular cycle path in Europe, and it's part of the Eurovelo 6. Here comes PJ! And you notice how I've got the Airbnb lady there, so she can't tear me a new one. This is the little sitting room that it's got, and the lady supplied us snacks on arrival, and it was really good. And we got breakfast in the morning, which is also good.
I'm losing my mind in this ghost town.
Good morning, and it's a wonderful morning. It's like 10 o'clock in the day. Yesterday we got into the B&B around 6 o'clock, and we were completely shattered. We did about 85 to 86 kilometers yesterday, but it was the headwind. The headwind was just extreme all day, and it wasn't funny, but PJ was going to catch the train the last like 20 kilometers because she was just all done in. And when she got to the train station, she missed the last train for the day. Like literally it was pulling out as we got there, and she was just like not in a very good humor. Like she had a sense of humour failure, a mega sense of humour failure. So the last 20 kilometers, which she didn't plan on doing, she had to push through it, and she was shattered. When she came up the last little bits up a hill, and she was not happy. She was not a happy camper. But the accommodation was fantastic. We stayed in this bed and breakfast. It sounded like we were just getting a room, but we basically got a 1-bedroom apartment, and we had breakfast, and the breakfast was just huge. We had to have a nap afterwards because we got sort of food sweats during the breakfast because it was so big and so lovely. And the host was really nice. She checked us in, and literally we didn't see her again until breakfast, and it was just great. It was the bed was super comfortable. I mean, we were super tired, so that added a bit of spice to it. And it was 2 bathrooms. Like there's 2 bathrooms. We only used one because we didn't want to be. She goes, "Oh, you can use one for you and one for Penelope," and we're like, "Okay, we'll just use one." And then we had a lounge room to ourselves, and it was great. It was really undiscovered. Sometimes when you get to the accommodation, it's not what you thought it was going to be. This is not what I thought it was going to be. A hell of a lot better. So today we've got about 65 kilometres to go, so a bit shorter. And we're in a protected valley here, so we're hoping the wind isn't going to be as strong as yesterday, which, effectively blew the paint off our bikes. And, PJ's a little bit bald where it's pushed back her hair, pulled out her hair. But, I'm looking forward to it. It's along the river. Yesterday we went through some absolutely magical villages, but PJ just was not in the position to take any video. The Kraken was definitely out, and if I'd suggested it, she would have torn my arm off and beaten me to death with the soggy stump. So they were beautiful villages. And here is a word from the Kraken.
Something that we've noticed as we've been riding along is that everybody's riding in the opposite direction, and so you might see usually videos from what's it called? Passau?
It's from Passau to Vienna, which is downhill, and the prevailing wind is in that direction. So
that's right. So Passau to Vienna is the most common direction people ride, which is the opposite direction, and we're seeing that the prevailing winds are the factor there, and it's also slightly downhill. So Passau to Vienna is sensible. Vienna to Passau is exciting, so prepare yourself.
And you can catch a train from Vienna to Passau. It takes a couple of hours and doesn't cost very much.
Yeah, there are trains along the route. However, don't expect a train after 4:15 in the afternoon. They may just be finished for the day.
When I seems lost, thoughts lead you astray. Then I cry, then I feel pain. Why do I suffer so much? I would love to feel your touch. Baby, I don't know where to go. I feel so lost without you. Baby, I don't know where to go. I feel so lost without you.
Charlie's having an ice cream sundae over there with Andrew, who's a terrible influence, and that's fantastic. I am having a fantastic ride on the other side of the river, and we'll compare the two. So far this side has been really sheltered from any headwinds. There's hardly any cars, and there's like a beautiful tree canopy as you ride through. So we'll get a report from Charlie about what he thinks of the other side when we get to the other end.
I just arrived after a day of cycling with a fellow cyclist that we met, Andrew, along the way, and him and I ride at about the same speed, and it was just lovely to talk to him all day. And we stopped and had coffee, and I had a full man crush. You know, he's just like a really interesting guy, and he works 2 weeks, then goes cycling for 1 week during summer, and works as a financer in London. So anyway, full man crush, just to. But I rode on the northern side of the river today, and PJ rode on the southern side of the river. The northern side of the river, it was quite busy. There was a couple of bits where you had to actually ride on the road with all the trucks and everything. I'd done this before years ago, and I don't remember any of this. So PJ rode on the other side of the river, and she rode down a quiet country lane. 3 cars went past her the whole way, and it was definitely the side I rode on last time. But definitely the northern side of the river is busy. The bike path chops and changes from one side of the road to the other, and also for a few kilometres you ride on the actual road with the trucks and everything like that.
Screw that.
So, you know, in hindsight, I should have jumped over and rode on the southern side, but I was having such a great time with Andrew. So anyway, it's all good. Well, it was great. The weather has taken a turn for the worst. It's definitely cold and very windy, and it's all headwind. And we stopped for lunch, but we got kicked out at 12 o'clock because in Austria most places close at 12 o'clock. And this is right next to the cycle path, so if this is closed, most places are going to be closed. We just had a really nice snack with Andrew from England, and he recommended we go to the concentration camp that's just outside of town here. So that's where we're going to head off to now. And he was saying Adolf Hitler was born just around here, so the way into Linz is kind of post-industrial. So he said it's not the most prettiest of the bicycle path. The prettiest part is past Linz. So yeah, we thought we were ahead of time. We don't have much further to go today, so we're going to go out and see the concentration camp. So if you're planning to come here on a Sunday, make sure you plan somewhere for lunch.
Andrew mentioned that if you are going to see something as depressing as a concentration camp, this weather where it's overcast, it's really cold, it's bleak, is the perfect setting to really appreciate what people went through in these places. So we're preparing ourselves for quite a somber but hopefully very interesting memorial visit.
Okay, we're at the front gates to the concentration camp. And there's a swimming pool. It's definitely a swimming pool. And, you know, there's the shallow end, there's the deep end. And I take it as for the prison, you know, the prison guards. But look at the view, like it's spectacular. And when we turn round, you can see one of the guard towers, and then you got the front gate, and then there's another guard tower up there, and then a big long wall. And yeah, there's a chimney over there, but I don't know if that's sinister or not. And I'm going to go in now. So the gates are very Bavarian. They have beautiful metalwork all through them. So there's some signs up here that, you know, give thanks to the US Army for liberating. It's in German and also in English. This is the first bit when you come upstairs. I take it this is the administration offices. And there's also some war memorials up here as well. You know, so while it's very beautiful, I'm sure it was a very horrible place. Yeah. And this is the actual concentration camp we're going into now. So from the front gate, this is the concentration camp. So as you can see, the barracks are not, or the dormitories are not very salubrious. And there's a lot of memorials here. Look, this is a very somber place, and PJ wouldn't come in, and I understand totally, because even while I'm here, I'm sort of like grappling with, you know, just the thought of it. And I'm not going to film anymore because I don't want to offend anybody, but like it's so overpowering, you know, just to think what happened within these walls. You know, I think you've got to come and look at these sort of things, or we can forget. And history can repeat itself, but it's like truly devastating what people can do to other people. Well, I finished my tour of the concentration camp, or should we call it death camp, and I don't know, it was very grim. I would encourage you to do it, but I don't think I'll ever do another one. Like, it's too confronting. So anyway, Anyway, it's up to you if you want to go and look at it or not, but it certainly makes you feel things. If you've got 1 ounce of imagination, you can imagine what it was like.
Good morning. I'm cheating. I'm taking the 8:50 train from Linz to Passau, and then I'm going to cycle back from Passau with this glorious wind in my back. So today's wind forecast is at least 27 kilometers an hour. Without wind chill, the temperature prediction is about 8 to 9 degrees Celsius. There is constant rain all day and 0 hours of sunshine forecast. So I'll show you what my experience is like, and Charlie is going to have the other GoPro and show you what his is like. So we've got accommodation just outside of Passau towards Linz. It's only about 35 kilometers from Passau on the Linz side. So I'm going to Passau and have a nice lunch, and I'm going to ride, hopefully like a jet rocket with the wind in my back, from Passau to our accommodation on the Danube River. So we'll see what a contrast the two days are. Okay, I just checked with the Tourist Information Centre and they confirmed that the pronunciation is Passau. So apologies to everyone who has to put up with Charles and I previously saying Passau. So it's Passau. Charlie is still on the river cycling through, so he may be using that word. Live and learn.
I'm about 20-30 kilometers into today, and I just thought I'd stop and show you what it is like down near the river. So I've left links and I'm heading towards Passau, but I'm not going to get there today. PJ, she wimped out of it, the Kraken, just down tools and caught a train to Passau and is riding back to where we're staying, but you know, she'll be riding with the wind at her back. But I said, bugger that, I'm riding onwards because, you know, I have fortitude and a very small brain. It's absolutely gorgeous, as you can see. So the path's behind me, that's the river. There is a strong headwind and it is raining, but other than that, it's lovely. And there's a lot of bike riders that are braving the elements in the opposite direction, so with the tailwind behind them. But I've yet to see anybody ride past me, and I'm riding pretty slow, so you'd think they would. Okay, obviously the trail is on both sides of the river. I can see push bike riders on the other side. I can see push bike riders on this side. So, and it's very wiggly, and the path keeps on telling you to ride over the mountain to cut out quite a lot, but it really is a mountain, so I'm riding around the long way. At least that's flat and beautiful because you're next to the river. Missing PJ, such a whim.
They stopped and reversed for me and reopened the gate so that I didn't have to wait in the rain for them to come back. This is the little boat, it's lovely.
Reality will never be good enough, and even if it was, we just mess it up, 'cause we already lost. Addicted to the rush, I never meant to fall. All I wanted was a touch, 'cause we already lost. Addicted to the rush, I never meant to fall. All I wanted was a touch, artificial love. Artificial love.
How was it?
It was great. It was just like beautiful riding. The wind gave me a challenge that I liked. You know, the scenery was fantastic. And for some reason today, there wasn't this like annoying whine the whole time. I can't put my finger on what the annoying whine was, but there was an absence of it, which I have not had an absence of this whine any day that I've been cycling since we started this time. But today, no whine.
How long did it take you?
Well, I stopped twice for food, and the second time was in this lovely place overlooking the river, so I stayed there for about an hour. So I was thinking it took me about 4 hours of cycling.
Artificial love.
It's 10:30 and we're just setting out. It's another rainy, overcast day. Last night we stayed at a farm, an apple farm by the looks of it, and overlooking the river, and it was so beautiful. So we had 2 days off, we had an admin day, and we feel enthused and ready to go. Accommodation going down kind of stops at Passau, and after that, accommodation is sparse, especially accommodation within our budget. So we're just setting off. We haven't booked anything for tonight, but we'll head off and see how we go. How good is this? We're on a weir that goes across the river, and it's just for bicycles, so we can just ride across it. If you look at the level of the river down here, it's quite a long way down. Like you know, good diving sort of. But if you head over here, it's really very high. You can see the weir, and you can see how it goes up and down via those big chains. And it's pretty awesome, you know, holding back all that water. And look at this beautiful bike path. It's just lovely. Like it's just row after row of buttressing to hold back the weir. So it's really good.
So people should try this instead of the ferry.
Yeah, so the Google Maps and Mapsy will tell you to catch the ferry across the river here, but you might as well just, you know, come across on the weir, save yourself €2.70, €2.70.
When I seems lost, thoughts lead you astray. Then I cry, then I feel pain.
Okay, that's hail. The hail is quite heavy, but it's quite small. I don't know if you can see on my hand here. Hopefully this doesn't last. We're not far from Passau now.
Here comes PJ in the hail. She's loving it. She loves the hail.
I think I prefer snow.
There's a little bit of hail. It's not real big hail, but it's a little bit painful. Here she is here. Any thoughts on the hail?
They're quite big.
They're not quite big.
It got me thinking now, and now I'm stuck in this loop again. It got me thinking now, should I take it or leave it out? What would happen if I talk to you? Got a feeling that I get a clue.
Would you be my fortnight? Would you be my fortnight?
Take it or leave it out. It got me thinking now, and now I'm stuck in this loop again. It got me thinking now, should I take it or leave it out? What would happen if I talk to you? Got a feeling that I get a blue.
Would you be my fortnight?
Hey, we've arrived in Passau. Thanks for the few people that are still with us from the beginning. We really appreciate it, and we love to hear from you, and we love it when you subscribe. And please stay with us for the rest of the trip. There's interesting things coming up where PJ gets away.